Federal agents under siege. Immigration and customs enforcement teams are facing a new threat dished out by the drug cartels. First, it was violent protesters rioting and attacking ICE agents on the streets. Now the Department of Homeland Security has announced Mexican cartels have put out bounties on agents in Chicago. DHS says those cartels are working with gangs and extremist groups to deploy armed spotters to rooftops to track agents' movements. I'm Harris Faulkner and you are in the Faulkner Focus. DHS also revealed a tiered bounty system cartels are using to incentivize violence. According to DHS, here is the price cartels are putting out: $2,000 to get information on ICE agents or dox them, $5,000 to $10,000 to kidnap or hurt the agents, and up to $50,000 to assassinate senior officials. Meanwhile, the rioting is heating up again. ICE and Border Patrol were forced to use tear gas to protect themselves from a large group of rioters in Chicago yesterday. The Chicago Police Department confirmed they were throwing objects at the ICE agents. Illinois Democrats are going after the ICE agents, maybe even fueling some of this violence we're seeing. One Democratic state senator posted that ICE's behavior was unacceptable and people in that neighborhood, quote, "don't tolerate this kind of BS." End quote. Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin went after that kind of rhetoric from the left. It is stunning when you see these protesters. You are seeing these agitators and seeing the politicians giving our law enforcement hell for protecting these facilities and actually protecting these detainees so they can get to the detention facility, through their due process, and out of this country. A chief Border Patrol agent allegedly faced a bounty on his life, and coming up moments from now, we'll talk with him in Focus. First, let's start with more news on this. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin in Illinois. That rock throwing was on the southeast side of Chicago and started with Border Patrol agents spotting someone they determined to be suspicious. They confronted that individual, and then, according to DHS, the individual and another person in the car rammed the Border Patrol vehicle, triggering a high-speed chase. That went near the Indiana border and ended with Border Patrol agents executing a pit maneuver to stop the vehicle. 2 people in the car, both Venezuelan. DHS says they are in the U.S. illegally. One had an order for removal dating back to 2024. One ran, but both were stopped. A crowd formed, and police say the crowd started throwing rocks. CBP responded with tear gas. Both the mayor and Illinois governor criticized the agents without mentioning the rock throwing. Unfortunately, the abuses of ICE and CBP continue, and we're going to do everything we can to protect our residents, but also to get the courts to step in and stop them from abusing everyday people they're firing gas pellets and rubber bullets at. The fence surrounding the ICE facility in Broadview is now down. It came down an hour before the midnight deadline. The mayor there acknowledged the protests got out of control. There are now no protest zones to keep protesters from walking into traffic. Protesters are restricted to a small area on the northeast side. Protesters are not happy about it. It seems like they're trying to push US out or make the protest less effective. People will get more angry, and they'll come out, and many will simply defy it. The chief of Broadview Police told me a gate will go in here staffed by local police, giving them the ability to allow emergency vehicles through and keep protesters out. What you have now are Jersey barriers and a state trooper vehicle in the middle of the road. The chief patrol agent for a sector in California, you'll hear his name quite a bit, has a huge story to tell today. Leading the Trump administration's border patrol efforts in Chicago, earlier this month officers arrested a member of the Latin Kings gang for putting out a bounty on his life. We welcome him now in Focus. Glad you're well and can tell us the story. First of all, how did you find out, agent, that somebody put a hit out on you? Good to see you again. I came into work one morning and found out there was a bounty put out by the Latin Kings, by that individual, and I was notified that morning, hey, there's a bounty on your head now. It was quite interesting. What can you tell us about how that affects, the infrastructure of agents, weaponry, and preparation for such a threat? How are things changing knowing that this kind of environment exists against you? Things have changed a lot. Since those bounties were put out, we've had to take different measures to keep our agents safe, ICE officers safe and allied law enforcement agents safe as they go into the field. Something else we're seeing is the lethality of assaults against officers and agents. That lethality is increasing, and I think it's because of the bounties and the crazy rhetoric from the out-of-control governor and mayor. Just yesterday we had 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela try to run over 2 Border Patrol agents. They were unsuccessful and then decided it would be a good idea to ram the Border Patrol car before engaging in a high-speed pursuit. Along with weapons being taken to protests, lethality is definitely increasing, and it's because of things like bounties and the crazy things the governor says. You mentioned officers there, too. Local officers on the ground are part of this no matter what their sanctuary city or state says. Are they in danger along with you? You bet. They have been all along. That's an unspoken story. As we have these illegal alien gangs, the Latin Kings, MS-13, that puts them in danger as well. That's an unspoken story that needs to be told, and I'm glad you brought it to light, Harris. They've been in danger for a long time now, and that's why we're here. Why ICE and Border Patrol are here in Chicago, to take care of that situation and wrap those gangs up. That makes it safer for local police. This is hard to believe it's going on. While you're trying to do that, here's the backdrop. Los Angeles County has declared a state of emergency over the surge in the job you're doing, agent, in the ICE raids in the city. This move allows the county to offer financial assistance to illegal immigrants affected by rounding up the worst of the worst, including rent relief and legal aid. They say when one person is arrested in a family, it impacts the whole family. The county supervisor said, families have been living under threat and workers have been taken away from their jobs. Los Angeles County has a responsibility to protect every resident no matter where they come from or what papers they carry. In an exclusive statement to Fox News, ICE said this: the only state of emergency is the one the residents of Los Angeles face after electing officials who give a middle finger to the law. A study found that in 2023, the state of California had already spent $31 billion of taxpayer money on illegal immigrants, and now they want to pay their rent and such while you do your jobs. First of all, your reaction to that. Giving aid and comfort to criminal illegal aliens is almost an insurrection, as the president says. We're apprehending child rapists in front of Home Depots in California, many of them aggravated felons, people you don't want on the streets. We're apprehending those by the hundreds. You want to give aid and comfort to those people and free housing to them? That's what's happening in California.